There is a version of the 1970s childhood that lives in sepia. Kids running through neighborhoods alone, arguments settled on the playground without a parent in sight. Be back by dinner as the only rule. We look back at those children and call them resilient. We admire what they became. A new meta-analysis of 52 separate research papers, tens of thousands of participants across the US, Europe, Asia, and South America, has just complicated that story significantly. The finding: overparenting has small but statistically significant links to depression, anxiety, and broader mental health struggles in teens and young adults. The direction of the effect held steady regardless of culture or income. 52 papers, one direction. That is not easy to dismiss. But here's where the story gets genuinely uncomfortable. Because the 60s and 70s kids did not build self-regulation by accident. They built it through something we have spent decades trying to eliminate: being left to manage things themselves. Not because their parents were wise, because their parents were not there. The mechanism is self-regulation. Mark Brackett at the Yale Center for Emotional Intelligence describes it as a set of learned, intentional skills for managing feelings wisely. And the key word is learned. A child learns to regulate by encountering friction, discomfort, frustration, and then working through it without an adult appearing immediately to smooth it away. When the adult does appear immediately, the lesson evaporates, every single time. A separate study tracking 2,213 children found that more unstructured free play in preschool predicted stronger self-regulation years later. Not organized sport, not educational activities, time that was simply child-directed and freely chosen. The research on risky play, climbing, roughhousing, unsupervised exploring, found similar patterns. Which means the scrapes and disagreements and boring afternoon boredom were not unfortunate side effects of that generation's childhood. They were the curriculum. We did not design a safer world for children. We accidentally designed one with fewer opportunities to practice being human. Schools rewrote their risk policies. Traffic removed independent mobility. And somewhere in all of this, well-meaning parents became the final buffer between their children and every manageable difficulty. The app, of course, made it easier. There is now a product that will let you track your child's location down to the driveway. Progress. None of this is an argument for abandoning children. The researchers are careful about that. They distinguish clearly between serious neglect, which is harmful, full stop, and age-appropriate independence. The kind where a child navigates a friendship conflict themselves, sits with a disappointing grade, or figures out how to fill an empty afternoon without a scheduled option. The self-determination theory framework puts it plainly. Children have three core psychological needs: autonomy, competence, and relatedness. Overparenting quietly undermines the first two. When the message a child absorbs over and over is that ordinary difficulties are beyond them, they start to believe it. The 60s kids were not tougher because of better parenting. They were tougher because they were regularly allowed to be uncertain, uncomfortable, and unsupervised. That is not a nostalgic argument. That is what the data keeps finding.